The summer of love is over for Democratic candidates, and like most relationships, money might be the reason we have to break up. Gavin Newsom breaks another barrier. Time to let college players get paid. And the impeachment inquiry news keeps flowing. I'm Jamal Simmons. This is why you should care. As we rake in poll numbers to gauge the 2020 race, there's some new data we can also take a look at today. Yesterday marked the deadline for 2020 Democratic candidates' third quarter fundraising hauls. A lot of Democrats will be releasing their numbers over the next few days, and we already know a few of the totals. Senator Bernie Sanders announced his campaign raised more than $25 million. That's the best fundraising haul for any 2020 candidate so far, and up $7 million for Bernie from last quarter. In a press release, his team says he reached that number through 1.4 million donations, recently hitting the 1 million individual donation mark, a milestone reached faster than any other Democratic presidential candidate in history. But Bernie isn't the only one posting big numbers. Mayor Pete Buttigieg hauled $19.9 million in donations this quarter, reporting roughly 182,000 donors. Pete's been pretty stagnant in the polls after some early buzz, but these numbers suggest the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, will still be able to compete. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker isn't rolling in as much dough as Sanders and Buttigieg, but as of Tuesday morning, his campaign exceeded its fundraising goal and brought in $2.1 million after making a push with voters. Booker had said earlier that if he missed his fundraising mark, he might have to drop out. Why you should care? The summer of love is almost over. Candidates in smaller campaigns might have clung on through the sweltering heat to enjoy the sunshine of presidential politics. But now the fall chill should cool down a few candidates' ambitions. Smaller campaigns need funding to keep them going. We'll keep our eyes peeled for signs other candidates are exiting the campaign trail soon. Yesterday, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill to allow student athletes in the Golden State to profit from their names and likenesses starting in 2023. The bill strikes directly at NCAA rules that prohibit student athletes from being compensated. Florida and New York also have bills in their state legislatures that would allow likeness compensation or force schools to pay their athletes directly. The NCAA claims that paying students will change the amateur experience and create a hierarchy on campus. Big-name stars for football and basketball, let's say, would likely make more money than field hockey or water polo, for instance. But let's be honest, there's already a hierarchy. Here's the problem. A lot of athletes come from families without that much money. Many observers find it obscene that coaches and schools make millions of dollars from these athletes' talents, but those same athletes can't afford to take a date to dinner or go home for Thanksgiving. Also, what makes athletes different from other scholarship students? Nobody prohibits an academic scholarship student from selling a book or developing an app. Now, why should you care? This could have a big impact on your favorite college team. The bill would give schools in California an advantage when it comes to recruiting. Say the University of Michigan is trying to recruit a football player. The player may choose Stanford or UCLA over Michigan because, they can get paid. Athletes might also try to trade up midstream in their collegiate careers. Say your favorite school is Clemson in South Carolina. Great school, but small media market. Say the quarterback has a great season, gets a lot of attention, and becomes a phenom. He might try to transfer to Los Angeles or Miami, where he could enjoy more advertising dollars. Do you change your allegiance to the player or to the team? On the other hand, letting college players make more money decreases the likelihood players choose to leave school early and go pro. Either way, the NCAA might be better off fixing the college athlete pay problem than fighting it. The White House is scrambling since news broke 2 weeks ago that the whistleblower blew the whistle. Developments have snowballed, and here's what we know as of this morning. President Trump tried to curry favor with the Ukrainian government if they agreed to investigate Joe Biden in exchange for ongoing military support. 3 of President Trump's closest officials are now in the hot seat. His personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. 3 congressional committees are investigating Giuliani for his effort to gain Ukrainian cooperation. And not just that, Giuliani tried to get some intel on Robert Mueller's probe into Russiagate. Attorney General Barr also got in the mix, pressing other countries for information on the Mueller investigation, including directing the president to call the Australian government for information. This is according to the New York Times. As for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he was with the president on July 25th when the call to Ukraine was made. NBC News reports all of this happened against then National Security Advisor John Bolton's advice. I wonder who's leaking. And now House Democrats are barreling forward with an impeachment inquiry. Why you should care? The White House has yet to come up with a unified messaging strategy, and information keeps trickling out of the government. Meanwhile, President Trump has relied on his favorite method of communicating, Twitter, to defend himself, lambast Democrats, particularly House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, and of course, what he calls the fake news. Giuliani has until October 15th to comply with the subpoena and hand over all communications between him and his associates with the Ukrainian government concerning the Bidens. It remains to be seen what Giuliani's next play is, but one thing we can be sure of, we'll likely see more news unfold in the coming days. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos, and head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.